I assume lakes are not open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I shall get that link for you. Oh, what chat? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Where's Wesley?
He went to take a poop, I think.
Of course he did.
Yep, you're live. Good to go. Oops. Get shared.
Expect Paul to run away with this.
Yes, I can hear mics open.
I woke up that one morning on Friday and it just, oh my god. I've never felt pain like that. When do we go live?
We should be live already.
Gotcha.
Are you doing pre-roll?
Yeah, he's on pre-roll right now.
So we're just seeing the track in real time is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
We're not seeing pre-roll like we normally see with Charles. Okay.
I can still hear you, by the way. You heard Wesley.
Yeah, I can hear him right now.
It wasn't near as high. We'll work on it after the race.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to behind the scenes here on LSRTV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Sit on LSRTV. We're simulcast as always on the Community Radio Network CRN, and we welcome you to the next round number 3 of the Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 series. And we're at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is back after being on vacation, going to Charlotte for the 24 hours of the Coca-Cola 600 and then being sick. But, man, I was thinking about this, Jason. We have not worked together as far as me and you in the booth for almost since mid-May. It's been a while. Welcome back.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back. Glad all the doctors have done what they can to fix me up recently. Caught a really bad case of pneumonia, I guess, before Charlotte, and or it was an upper respiratory. Had it for a while, started to go away, and then it got back. I had to go to the ER, rush there. It was pretty scary, but here I am. I'm alive and well, folks. I'm not gone. I'm here. I'm still alive and well in my bedroom in New Jersey. But we're here. Canadian Tire Motorsports Parkman GT3 cars. I'm excited to see this. I am yet to call an actual road series race yet on iRacing, so this is my first for me. I'm very, very excited. I'm noticing a lot of guys driving Lamborghinis. I'm noticing a few BMWs, the Ferraris, some Porsches. It's going to be a fun one. I'm glad to be back here on LSRTV.
Yeah, this is round number 3 again of the RGL Northwest Motorsports GT3 series. We're at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. We're going road course racing. And again, as he said, you'll hear the analogies of words like Jaguar and BMW and Ferrari and Porsche. Just some of the car models that will be running here in this race. Obviously, timed races, something different as well, Jason, that we normally do with the Northwest Click It RV Fixed Setup Xfinity series, which is, by the way, on hiatus. We'll pick it right back up with the final 4 races of the regular season, and then it's on to the playoffs, and that won't be until Labor Day. I'm loving this idea of coming up with these type of fun leagues, if you will, and the participation has been rather intriguing.
Yeah, it definitely has. And I mean, it's nice for these guys to take a little bit of a break, take a nice breather, have some fun, do something. And not only is this fun, but it works on certain things. You think about this GT3, series that we're about to be running here. You talk about it being the 3rd race of the series. I'm guaranteeing you there are guys out here like Dan West Jr., Frank Harris, Russ Lundberg, Stefan O'Hare, Toby Ritters, who are learning for when they do go to these road courses. So not only is this fun and a nice breather from their usually scheduled program, but it's a learning experience, and it also broadens their horizons. Maybe it makes Russ Lundberg want to go run Porsche Cup. Maybe it makes Tyler King want to go do some open wheel stuff. That's the thing. It opens up the door for so many possibilities, and it also broadens these guys' horizons, and also just makes them a lot more aware and a lot more conscious about what's going on when it comes to tracks that they're not very familiar with.
Yeah, going to be a fun time. We're glad you're along for the ride. By the way, Cody Deemers is making his LSRTV producing debut. Associate producer, of course, the executive director is Charles Wooten. He's kind of behind the scenes as well tonight, letting Cody be the duck in the pond, feet churning 100 miles an hour, and just kind of trying out these new endeavors, if you will. We're glad that he is on board joining us. He'll be the future because obviously Charles Wooten is looking to step away from more racing endeavors beginning this year and into next year as well. And to keep LSR TV going, Jason, it takes a team of people. And if we don't have new producers, we don't have anything to announce or any series or leagues to do. So pretty cool to have Cody Deemers now stepping in and joining us in the production role as we're about 2 minutes remaining left in qualifying, as qualifying is going on right now. 1:15.990 by Ryan Worley. He is the man that has set quick time here so far around the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. As I mentioned, we will have timed races, meaning there will be a heat race that will be a 10-minute time limit, and then we'll come back out here and run a 20-minute feature is what our plan is for the feature race. And obviously, timed races are a lot different than running laps, if you will, Jason.
Yeah, and I've had some experience, not per se on the iRacing side of things, but I've done stuff when it comes to back before I was even in the sim world. I go back to Forza Motorsport 7. I used to do simulated timed races. I used to do 24 to 30-minute races with my buddies. So, I mean, I understand, the circumstances with timed races. You're constantly thinking to yourself, all right, how many minutes do I have left? Because every corner, every single straightaway, it feels like you're wasting so much time. So every single opportunity you get to try to overtake a driver, overtake a car, make a pass, do whatever you do, make a block, every single second, every minute matters when it comes to these timed races, because you never know, because you could have a caution come out or something, and you could be running around with the time coming out, and the next thing you know, you're going green, and halfway through your lap, and it's like you're already under a minute, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, we're about to finish the minute, so this time by, it's going to be the white flag, and next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I was expecting 2 to go. So, a little bit more different than our pace with the laps, but regardless, timed racing, endurance racing in a sense, always a fun, stretch.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, I have been informed that tonight's events will be a 20-minute heat with a 40-minute feature time limit. Because, obviously, the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is a lot smaller than the over 4-mile road course, the Spa, that we ran on last week. This road course just over 1.5 miles, and in doing so, there will be a longer race. So, qualifying in the books, obviously, we saw Ryan Worley set fast time. The field will be gridding here. There you see him. Let's give you your starting lineup for the 20-minute heat. Ryan Worley on the pole. Row 1, Paul Newton, the road course king, alongside row number 1. Row 2 will find Stephen Paulison and Robert Campbell. RGL Motorsports, the man that created this series. And by the way, he won last week at the Spa. Row 3, BJ Tidrick and the legend Frank Harris. And making up row 4, Jason, is going to be halfway through the field, Dan West Jr. and Tyler King.
Yeah, rounding out the rest of the field, you got row 5. You got Russ Lumberg, Crazy Hair in the 129, and Stefano Hare there in the number 41. Row 6, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Toby Ritters in the 23, and Troy Daggett in the number 99. Row number 7, John Ottenbacher in the 89, and Ryan Bloom in the 25. Last but not least, row 8, Carl Burke, and then the Catman, 333, James Vining with the Seattle Seahawks hat, as always, and that will be your starting lineup here for heat number 1.
This will be, again, a 20-minute heat race, and the top 10 will be inverted at the conclusion of the heat for the 40-lap timed feature run, as we'll get ready for these drivers to make at least one lap around Mosport International Raceway, better known as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and we'll get ready to go. And obviously, we're going to be talking about carousels and chicanes, and obviously the famous Quebec corner. That's a very tight angle corner here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. A lot of races are won and lost off of that corner there, Jason.
Yeah, but honestly, the real big thing that I think about is after you get through Quebec Corner and then you head down to turn 4, it's a downhill stretch. Then you get to 5A and 5B with Moss Corner. That is a very, very technical corner because you're carrying so much speed going down there. You got to be easy on the brakes. You got to maintain throttle control. Don't spin the tires. Don't lock up the brakes. You don't want to do any of that. And then once you come out of 5B, it's a tight little left turn there on 5C. All the way down the Andretti straightaway, which is a huge passing opportunity, setting yourself going up to turn 8 to the S's, to 9, and then to White's Corner in turn 10, and then to the checkered flag. Very technical road course. Always love this road course. Such a shame that NASCAR doesn't come here anymore, but there are plenty of other racing series that do, and they always put one heck of a show over here. I know the Canadian Tire, or not Canadian Tire, but the Pinty series comes here, and they always put on one heck of a show. But there's your Kaufman Creative weather conditions there. 71 degrees, Wesley, 87 degree track temperature, though. These road cars, they're not going to be affected by it as much as you could say a stock car per se.
Yeah, partly cloudy conditions, a little wind at 3 miles an hour on this virtual sim at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park here at Mosport. And by the way, fret not. Sounds like the conversation could possibly be the returning of NASCAR going back to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So obviously that's been in the news, as well as all the other exciting other great news and information that's been unveiled. But we'll see what these guys can do. I'm loving these cars. I'm loving the wrap jobs on these cars. I'm loving the fact that this is something different, something fun, as you mentioned, Jason, for us to be able to do with the Northwest guys. And you get so consumed with the truck or the Xfinity or the Cup schedule, and you just go. But I love the fact that they're stepping up and they're doing these fun leagues, and we're seeing some different type of racing here for sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun one. I mean, you got so many different classes with, well, not classes per se, but manufacturers. You have Lamborghini, you have Porsche, BMW, Ferrari. I mean, all those manufacturers. It's going to be such a fun race here. I mean, Ryan Worley was very fast in practice, about half a second faster than Paul Newton. I expect him to probably run away here with this heat, but who knows? You never know. Road racing is unpredictable.
Pace car begins to pick up speed, drops onto the pit lane. Here comes the field, working out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air. 20-minute heat race with the equivalent of a 15-lap race. And we are underway here for the drivers of the Northwest RGL Motorsports Series. On the whole shot, jump. It's Worley. He quickly gets out in front of Newton and Paulison. And watch these guys negotiating around the racetrack. We've already got drivers going off course, trying to get back around. Oh, Russ Lundberg in trouble. He's in the fence. It looks like Toby Ritters is also caught up in it. Little scrape, a little scramble. They'll back away and we'll stay green.
Yeah, and everybody kind of just single filing out there. You see a couple guys, those side by side right there. They single file out. Now they head up to Moss Corner, up to 5A, 5B, and then into 5C, that little left-hand turn. Very awkward. Usually some tire spin coming off there, but everybody looks to be clean there off the corner, and now they set themselves up down the Mario Andretti straightaway, and with a big draft wake, which could present a lot of passing opportunities going into turn 8.
Watching him again coming off of that Moss corner, as you mentioned, and making this sharp turn around through the S's. Going to come back around, looking at start-finish. There's the pit entrance, if you will, to the right. When they make their way to the pit lane and they come to the line, here you go. Already one lap in. And it is, of course, Worley leading the opening lap of this race. Newton in second, Paulus in third in this 20-lap timed heat. Again, and we got them working their way in the second lap up around these corners. You hear 5A, 5B. It's kind of the essential, if you will, of the same corner. Just a little bit of arcing or diamonding in the turns. Working again here around this road course at Mossport. And still Worley is the man that's leading the way with a strong drive he's got as we look on and see Gamble and Tidrick and West battle.
Yeah, and everybody right now is just kind of fighting, trying to figure out how they're going to get around somebody without making contact, because that's the thing with road racing compared to, NASCAR, like we're so used to. You don't really see a lot of contact on these road races. It's kind of like voodoo, per se, when you make contact with another driver, but that's the great thing about these GT3 cars. You can really make contact compared to, you'd say, a prototype or an LP1 or LP2 car. You can make that contact. You see big diver right there into the corner. I believe that was Stephen Paulson or Robert Gamble right there in the corner. And it was Robert Gamble right there. Big move to the inside. And now Stephen Paulson's under fire from BJ Kendrick and the Ferrari here as they set themselves up going into turn 1. Gotta be easy going through there. You can go offline big time. But everybody, though, still battling hard. Still some clean racing here as they work their way into turn 2.
It's Worley the leader, Newton in second, Gamble, Tidrick, and West the top 5. That's the way it stands right now with a couple of laps into this event. Again, it's a time limit of 20 minutes, rounding off, if you will, to around a 16-lap heat. Remember, they will invert the top 10 for the 40-minute feature coming up later tonight here. Again, we're about 3.5 minutes into race number 1. Everybody is minding their P's and Q's besides that crash we saw between Russ Lundberg and Toby Ritters, as now we see Stefan O'Hare battling with John Onenbacher. This is going on for the top 10.
Yeah, and they're heading into Moss Corner right now. You see Stefan O'Hare under fire from his fellow BMW manufactured somewhat teammate, Tyler King, right behind him. And we'll see them down into the corner, now down the Andretti straightaway. Big draft weight coming up here for Tyler King. He's going to be able to make a move to the inside. The two BMWs side by side, trying their best to try to chase after John Ottenbacher and the rest of the field right in front of them here as they work their way into turn number 8.
At turn 8, turn 9, working their way again, closing back to start finish as they work off these final turns. Working around the corner, back to the straightaway here at Mosport. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is again, Worley is setting the pace. He's got about a 2-second lead over Paul Newton. Robert Gamble again 5-second back in the number 3 spot. And we're watching these drivers working their way up the hill, down the hill. This is with Tidrick and West going down it for position again in that corner. We got one going around. That's John Odenbacher. Problems for the number 89 out of Billings, Montana. No harm, no foul, no damage. He'll continue along.
Yeah, and Tyler King now and Stephen O'Hare, they've caught Stephen Paulson. They're trying to pass him right now. Paulson already got passed right there by Tyler King, and you're seeing Stephen O'Hare. He's trying to work on the back bumper of that Porsche right now. They're working their way up the hill, down the Andretti straightaway. Again, another big draft weight going to come up here for Stephen O'Hare to try to make a move on that Porsche of Stephen Paulson. Just not going to be enough as they work their way into turn 8. And Ryan Worley, he is putting a whooping right now on Paul Newton here in this heat because he has pulled out to a 2.5-second lead here with just 5.5 minutes into this heat.
And that green and gold car that we just saw a moment ago with that battle going on with Tidrick and Company, that was the lap car of Russ Lundberg, who had some problems earlier in the race. Right now, he is 1 lap down along with Toby Ritters. Clifford having a bad run out of it as well. And watching now Tidrick working his way, trying to catch up to Robert Gamble as Tidrick slips a little bit. Opens the door now for Dan West Jr. to pass him to get that number 4 spot.
Yeah, Dan West Jr. is going to look right down to which would be the inside, but you could say the right side here down the Andretti straightaway. They're going to be side by side, working their way into turn number 8. Who's going to have the better quarter entry speed? Who's going to hit the apex perfectly? They're still side by side. No room given there by Dan West Jr. He used all of the rumble strip, all of the curbing now as they work their way through White's corner and turn 10 back to the start-finish line. BJ Tinner's going to have some work to do if he wants to catch Dan West Jr. again.
Yeah, there's no love lost right there between Tidrick and West finally getting able to clear away from Tidrick and pull away, if you will. He'll set his sights now on Robert Gamble. By the way, he is Dan West Jr. 7 seconds to the leader of, again, Ryan Worley. It's Ryan Worley, Paul Newton, Robert Gamble, Dan West Jr., BJ Tidrick. Your top 5, by the way, that is, of course, the BMW of Worley. Then you've got 3 Porsches of Newton, Gamble, and West in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. A Ferrari with BJ Tidrick in the top 5.
Yeah, and then top 10, Frank Harris, Troy Daggett, James Wine, Stephen Paulson, Tyler King in the top 10. So everybody right now just kind of separated. And Wesley, the big thing with road racing is it's not compacted all tight together when it comes, to road course racing per se, like you see with stock car racing or even just on ovals in general. It's very stretched out, and it's all a mental game for these drivers. Talked about it earlier. You got to be consistent. You have to be precise. Every single corner, every single entry, exit, it means something. It could be a tenth, it could be 2 tenths. Heck, it could be a whole second. That's the great thing with road racing is it provides so many opportunities. You just have to be patient, but you also have to be very, very consistent here. As he's right on board with Dan West right now in that 55 machine, that Porsche as he works his way through turn 2, down to 2A, and now he heads for the Quebec corner, heading into turn number 3. So good job by Dan West getting around BJ Tidrick. But again, everybody just trying to avoid. You see one car off in front of him that looked to be a Ferrari, I believe. Could have been Toby Ritters, and I believe it was.
I love the onboard camera. Obviously, when you look at the cockpit of the regular race cars that we cover, and completely different animal as Dan West Jr. and Tidrick get around the driver of Toby Ritters to put him now 2 laps down with 10 laps to go. Timed race coming up on 9 minutes in this 20-minute heat. Here's a replay of Toby Ritters, and I think he just got in some accidents again here, going off track. Hold on there, going around, saving it, locking it up. Oh! Well, yeah, he damaged the back end of the car. Took the fin off.
Yeah, but this is a great learning experience for Toby Ritters. He's learning what he can and can't do on road courses. And yes, obviously these things have a lot more grip, a lot more horsepower when it comes, to the road course aspect side of racing compared to the stock cars. But I mean, this is still a very good learning experience for Toby. We talked about him in the Northwest Series. He's been doing a great job. Last year, he was kind of a mid-pack to backpack driver, getting involved in a lot of stuff. And this season in the Northwest Click and RV Fix Setup Series, he's been doing a really, really good job. And I mean, he's really put in the dedication, the work, and this is just another good learning experience for him here in this GT3 series to try to learn the road courses, learn different cars, broaden his horizons, and maybe, who knows, maybe he'll want to go run some road racing stuff. Oh, we got one car off track, one of the Porsches there. I believe that is Frank Harris, the legend, in the number 11. He went off from about P6, I'd say. He's able to save it, keep on going, but he's going to get passed by maybe, I believe, James Vining here down the Andretti straightaway, but no harm, no foul. He keeps it off the wall, keeps it from getting any sort of damage here as they work their way.
Single digits now on the scoreboard, 9 remaining. Now make it 8 to go for Ryan Worley, continuing to lead the way. Paul Newton in that number 2 spot, Robert Gamble 3rd, Dan West Jr., B.J. Tidrick. There you see that battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th heating up, but there's still plenty of distance between them with 8 remaining, and obviously a calm heat race, if you will. Remember, the top 10 will be inverted, which means the BMW number 21 of Tyler King unofficially, if this race was to end now, Jason, would be on the pole, but again, still a long way to go.
Yeah, this is honestly reminding me of how the All-Star format used to be in NASCAR. I mean, you would invert the field sometimes and whatnot, or like the old Busch Clash back in the day, back in the 90s. You would take 20 laps, 10 laps, you have the fastest qualifiers from the season previously, have them run, invert the field for the last 10 laps of the race. That's basically what this is almost in a sense. Big block right there down the straightaway by, I believe that was Dan West Jr. there, though, on B.J. Tidrick. And Tidrick's going to get around him in that number 72 Ferrari. You see Dan West Jr. trying hard in that Porsche to regain that position. But, man, that's the great thing, though, about this. It's something different for us to call here, Wesley. And it's not just something different for us to call. It's something different here for these Northwest guys to go out and do. They're not here racing for really anything. They're just here for fun, and it's a great learning experience. And it's a good time to breathe away from what they're so used to doing, which is digging in those virtual cockpits with those stock cars. So this is something new, something fun. It's a great opportunity.
Oh, Dan West Jr. Oh, Dan West Jr. around. You saw it in real time. Spun, working his way to run down Tidrick. Overshot the gap, and here is a replay of what happened to the Shelton, Washington driver, the 55. Look at this here, Jason. Just looked like he just power steered the car, overturned the car, the handling.
Yeah, it could have been an overcorrection right there, but maybe if we can get a different angle possibly again, I'm not too sure. He might have got on that curbing right there, that right rear. That's a thing in road racing. Those curbs, they help. But if that right rear just so happens to get on, and actually no, so take away what I said, just overcorrecting it right there. A little too much mustard, got back in the throttle, snapped, and unfortunately hard impact into the front with that Porsche. And unfortunately, that's going to end his heat race. He's going to go flying back through the field. But good thing, though, that these guys are so spread out because he could be a lot worse right now. But he's currently staying out right now despite the damage, knowing that there's only less than 10 minutes remaining.
And remember, this is just a timed heat race. This is a 20-minute time limit. Obviously, lap-wise, average is 6 laps to go. We're about 7 minutes remaining on the time run of 20 minutes the distance, and this heat sets the lineup for obviously the feature, and it's something different, as we mentioned, Jason. The only time we ever mention heat races for the Northwest is when we run the trucks or the Cup on our Xfinity on dirt at Knoxville or Eldor. No, that's the only time we ever see heat races. Obviously the duels in Daytona will count kind of like heat races, but I mean that's a completely different animal to set the lineup for the big feature event for the following week. But again, the timed races, I watching John Audenbacher go around again. Obviously, he's already had some problems, and he noses into the Armco barrier. again. But, you know, just kind of watching this, Jason, again, as we mentioned, this is something different. This is not like what the Northwest Points Championship grind is on Monday night for the trucks, or used to be for Cup, or now for the Click It RV Fixed Northwest Setup Series on Wednesday night. They're not going to come back until Labor Day. After Labor Day, you've got the next, 12, 15 weeks to just have fun and try these different classes of racing. And there's some other cool things that are coming down the pike as well.
Yeah, and like I talked about, it's a great learning experience for some of these guys, like Toby Ritters, like Russ Lundberg, Stefan O'Hare, all these guys in general. And I mean, and sure, Ryan Worley and Paul Newton are they're whooping their butts, but this is info that they can take to these road courses when they go. We call Paul Newton the road course king. He ain't the king right now because Ryan Worley is putting a whooping on him by almost 6 seconds. But still, this is information they can use against Paul Newton, against other drivers who are really good at the road courses and make themselves better. And it's always good to have that breather, and it's really nice to have, that sense of, all right, I can just have fun. I don't got to try really hard. I'm here to
That's
learn.
right.
I'm here to do this, do that, X, Y, Z. And the great thing about these heat races is because we talk about it, we don't really see them in stock car racing unless you're at your local Saturday night short track, Friday night short track, like Stafford, like, Riverhead, Wall Stadium, Hickory, whatever it may be. You only see those there really in stock car racing. You don't see them in NASCAR. You don't see them in the Northwest Series like you usually do unless we're on dirt like you talked about, or the duels like we did earlier this season. So these heats are interesting opportunities for these guys to not only pick up positions and qualify, but they're interesting races where they can learn. Okay, I don't need to overbrake here. All right, too much wheel right here. Don't need to give it that much wheel. All right, too much throttle right there off this corner. All learning experience, all while having a little bit of fun.
Time running out here again in the, whoa, look at the lock up. That's O'Hare and Lundberg. Oh, no. That's Vining, actually, the 333. Vining and O'Hare battling for that spot. Here's a replay coming up. Oh, my.
Stefan O'Hare went airborne right there.
Yeah, was that Lundberg? It might have been Lundberg. It was Russ Lundberg. My apologies. I said it was James Vining. It's actually Russ Lundberg in the 129. And yes, Russ Ludwig, I know that you are in the chat box. Different driver. Look at this. Oh, man. Bonsai for the BMW. Back it up into the Cole Bryant Photography 41 in the fence with the rear end of the car. We're 3 laps to go here. Worley has a 6-second interval over Newton in this 20-minute heat timed run coming to the end of it here.
Yeah, and Ryan Worley is just doing a really good job, but he's going to have to start from 10th, And I mean, and sure, he's thinking to himself probably, oh man, piece of cake. I've pulled out to almost a 7-second gap. These guys don't run road. I'm a road course guy. I've never seen Ryan Worley, so I mean, from everything I've gathered in these first 17 and a half minutes, Ryan Worley's a road course guy. He's come here to play. He's come here to have fun and show these guys what it means to be a road course driver here in the sim world. Oh, we got one car way off track. Oh my goodness. That's going to be big.
Oh, man, what a hit right there. That's Dan West Jr. again. Wow. And the hits just keep on coming now as Dan West Jr. trying to get back rolling again. He will be in 10th. So if he doesn't fall back anymore, he will be on the pole for the invert of the 40-minute time feature. Who to go for Ryan Worley leading the way here at Mosport.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact, too, here, Stefan O'Hare, he just took over that 10th place spot, so Dan West Jr. is going to have to start 11th, more than likely, because he's so far back from Stefan O'Hare now, and Stefan is loving this, man. He's had a struggle. He just went up in the air briefly. He's going to be starting here on the pole if he just maintains his spot. He doesn't need to push. He's got nobody around him. This is a good thing for him. Yeah, it sucks, that he's not really doing too good in his heat. But still, it's going to be a learning experience. But back to my point before with Ryan Worley, he's going to have to start 10th. Yeah, he can easily drive his way up through the field. But the thing, though, Wesley, that we always see happen when it comes to these heat races in all forms of motorsport, when you invert a field, whether it's a heat race or a feature race, you have the opportunity to be wrecked big time. And because these guys are not really big road course guys here in the Northwest, they don't have as much experience as Ryan Worley probably. So Ryan Worley's going to have to be very, very cautious here as the white flag does fly here. So this is the last lap of the 20-minute heat race. So Ryan Worley's going to have to be super, super careful when they do go green.
So, again, 19 and a half minutes on the board. This is the final lap. As they approach the final minute of the time run, the white flag is given. And Ryan Worley, there he is. Beautiful looking machine in the number one spot, the 205 BMW Calm Cool Collective. Not a even tread of damage on the car, or even a fender rub, or a paint smear from another car. He has been clean sailing out in front, Jason. What a dominating heat for this driver of Ryan Worley. But again, the fast car will be inverted at the end of this heat for the time feature of 40 minutes. He'll start 10th.
Yeah, and he's going to start 10th for sure, but this is a good feeling knowing that he's going to be fast here. He'll take the checkered flag. He'll win the heat race, all while knowing that he's going to start 10th. So it's like, hey, man, you just pulled out to an 8.5, almost 9-second gap. Here you go. Here's not a trophy. Here's not a participation. Here's not a point. We're going to let you start 10th for the feature race. Oh, and by the way, it's 40 minutes. So you're going to have to sit through 40 minutes of agonizing pain trying to drive your way up through the field, all while trying to not be wrecked. Good luck. But regardless, what a drive by Ryan Worley, and especially some of these other guys. Paul Newton, that's expected. We know he's really good at the road courses. BJ Tidrick, good job by him. Robert Gamble, solid job by him, 4th. And Troy Daggett, 5th. You know, and Troy Daggett, I mean, he's probably going to be starting 5th or 6th, so he's not really gaining or losing. He's going to be right there. So, I mean, it's unfortunate for him, but I mean, Ryan Worley put a whooping. I expect him to do the same here when the the feature comes.
Almost 27 seconds back for the driver of Troy Daggett. Stefan O'Hare now works his way across the line. He'll be the pole driver for the timed invert 40-lap feature, or 40-minute feature, I meant to say, in 10th. Dan West Jr. got passed by Stefan O'Hare, and unfortunately he will have to fire off in that 11th spot. That is the way that they finish up again at the end of the 20-minute timed run heat race. Let's look at the results again one more time. Here is Ryan Worley again getting it done. Frank Harris will finish in 2nd. BJ Tidrick 3rd. Brian Bloom. All these drivers, of course, finishing in the top 5 with Russ Lundberg. And again, James Vining, Paul Newton, Toby Ritters, Carl Berg, Stefan O'Hare. Flip-flop them. Stefan O'Hare will be on the pole for the 40-minute time feature coming up next. Jason, everyone else that you see on the ticker will have to start 11th on back.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how those guys do, knowing that they had super, super difficult, heat race. So, I mean, they're going to have to try their best to try to work their way up through the field. I mean, they're going to have these next 5 minutes to try to work something, maybe figure out a corner that they didn't, like necessarily, try to make it a little bit better. You already see Toby Ritters. He's taking advantage. So is Dan West Jr. He's on track as well. Toby Ritters in that number 23. Clifford, the big red dog, red type Ferrari right there, down the Andretti straightaway. He's trying his best, man. Just out here to learn, along with, James Vining, Carl Berg, Ryan Bloom, lots of other guys here. Just a learning experience. And we're going to be talking about that here until we go back racing. This is what this is going to do all the way up until Labor Day. It's all learning experience, it's all for fun. So it's two ways, learning and fun.
Ryan Worley again getting the 20-minute heat race win here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. He'll now be 10th whenever we invert the field for the 40-minute feature coming up after this quick warm-up. We're at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification. The Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 Series on CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Back here again at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Welcome back to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. For those tuned in on CRN, Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside Cody Deemers doing a great job in his debut in the production chair. And we are at Canadian Tire Mosport. Jason, as we put a final closing on the heat race to prepare now for the feature, 40 minutes. Obviously, I'm thinking you're probably going to have about a 30-lap run. And in addition to that, I think we're going to see green flag pit stops. You're going to have to pit in the green flag.
Yeah, you might have to. I mean, I'm not too particular with these cars per se, but I mean, you might very well have to pit for being a 40-minute feature. I mean, maybe try to split it in half possibly. We'll have to see. I mean, you never know. But, I mean, regardless, I mean, there's going to be a lot of drivers who are out here that are just going to try to survive, try to have fun. You know, drivers maybe like Toby Ritters, Frank Harris, Dan West Jr., drivers who struggled, and they just want to go out here and learn. They know that they're not out here to try to win. They're out here to try their best to just put on whatever performance they can give and be satisfied by the end of the day, you know, to try to create that learning experience that they need going forward.
They are practicing. There's about 2 minutes left before we grid for the feature. Let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're getting ready for the big race when we return from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the Northwest RG3 Motorsports GT3 Series. When we return, the 40-lap time feature next.
At Click It RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We're back here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Welcome back to our coverage. I am Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside. Warm-up is about to expire, and now we're getting ready for the 40-minute feature timed run here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Obviously, Ryan Worley winning, dominating, if you will, race number 1, or the heat run. And I love the new damage model, by the way, Jason, of these cars on the track.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, iRacing did do, you know, an update recently, you know, with the damage model. I just called a race recently with the new truck damage model that I had not seen, and they did a really, really good job doing it. You know, obviously, you know, you can only get so real, but, you know, obviously, you know, this is a different series, so the damage model a little bit different, but should be an interesting race. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the starting lineup with the invert of 10. Ryan Worley will start 10th. Here is the lineup on the invert. On the pole, Stephen O'Hare in the number 41 will lead us to the green flag. That's the inside car. To the far left of your screen, to the right, closer in the middle, is Tyler King, the Northwest Truck Champion, row 1. Row 2, Stephen Paulison in that red, white, and blue 58, the 333. The Catman, James Vining, row number 2. He'll be in that spot, 4th. Row number 3, Frank Harris, the legend. That's that blue car inside row number 3 to the outside. Troy Daggett in the 99. Row 4, We'll find Robert Gamble in the 54, winner last week, by the way, at the Spa, and BJ Tidrick, 2 wins of the Northwest. He will, though, fire off in 8th.
Yeah, row 5, you're going to have the guys in the top 2, Paul Newton and Ryan Worley, who just won that heat. Row 6, Dan West Jr. and John Ottenbach are looking to try to have themselves a solid feature. Row 7, Russ Lumberg, Toby Ritters in row number 7. Row number 8, Ryan Bloom and Carl Berg, who I don't believe are starting right now. They don't look to be on the track, but it could be.
So we're going to end up with 14 starters. It looks like row 8 is a scratch with Ryan Bloom and Carl Burke in their Ferraris, unless they start from the pit lane. But that's going to put them all the way in a bind already as it stands. 40 minutes the distance. When they circle back around, they'll come to the green flag. It'll be a 40-minute time limit. Obviously, you know, I'm intrigued. I said it earlier. I know you said it as well, Jason. These are novelty races. These are different events than what we're so used to seeing. What these guys are so used to running on the iRacing simulator week in, week out in the spirit of harder competition. Now it is racing, but you're having fun, and you're trying out these new iRacing prototype cars. And I love the GT3. I really do.
Yeah, they provide a really good, you know, they provide really good racing. I mean, I've tried the best I can when I have time to watch sports car racing, to watch the IMSA, you know, the WeatherTech Endurance Championship. I mean, and these GT3 cars, they provide such good racing. I mean, it's probably, in my opinion, the stock car racing of, I'd say, off-road course racing, and that's the best way I can put it. And honestly, the best track I think that the GT3 cars probably perform that race like stock cars is probably Lime Rock. So hopefully these guys go to Lime Rock. I don't know if they already have or not, but Lime Rock would be something fun to do because Lime Rock is the short track, in my opinion, of road courses. So Lime Rock would be cool, but these guys are ready to tangle here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It should be a fun one.
By the way, Virginia International Raceway and Watkins Glen will be the final 2 races coming up next week and the week after that for the RGL Motorsports GT3 Series. So the field is gritting. We're ready. Green flag is out. We're underway. 40-minute time limit underway on the clock. That will be the equivalent of how many laps we'll find out whenever it updates. This is the race for the feature now. And quickly, Stephen O'Hare trying to pull away from everybody, but you got to be patient. Look out. Oh, man. Is that Dan West Jr. again in trouble? Oh, Frank Harris, actually.
Frank Harris, yeah. And Paul Newton.
Yeah, man. Frank Harris and Paul Newton. Guys that we normally see up in the front, like Paul Newton, man, of course, runner-up there in race number 1 in the timed heat, falling all the way back. Still a long way to go, though.
Yeah, 40 minutes is going to feel like an eternity for these guys. But again, you know, you got to remember, they just keep thinking, oh my gosh, I'm wasting so much time. So they got to be careful, they got to be precise, they have to be consistent.
Stephen O'Hare working his way around the corner. Turn number 9 awaits, coming to the start-finish line. Working back with about a 3/4 second lead over Stephen Paulison. And we're 1 lap in. Oh, Frank Harris in trouble. Off the pace again is James Vining. A lot of craziness going on here in the opening lap.
Yeah, and so far Stephen O'Hare setting the best lap time of the race, 1:21.571. So I'm sure that's going to change. And what's this? Oh no. Ryan Worley already coming into the pits. I don't know if that's trouble or I don't know if that's strategy or what. Something of a miss there on the 205 machine, the BMW, but wow, that is huge if he can't make it back to the front.
Frank Harris on pit road in the early going. We saw him, though, had damage in the beginning of the race. So you got to wonder if he's already going to take a fast repair to get himself back out on track again here. This is on board overlooking the 11.
He didn't take a fast repair right there, and that's just a lot of damage to Frank Harris. There was no way he was going back out there with that amount of damage. And you got got to think, too, Wesley, we talked about it. I said it. Ryan Worley starting back there. Oh, one of the BMWs off track. Stephen O'Hare.
The leader.
The leader off track. Something of a miss on the 41 machine, but no damage, no harm, no foul. He keeps on going. But you got to think, Wesley, maybe something happened to Ryan Worley starting back there in 10th behind guys he hadn't raced with and guys who aren't as good at the road courses as him. He probably got some damage. He might have had to come in right there. More drivers going off track. Dan West Jr., I believe, is about to go around. There he goes. Around he goes. That's Frank Harris, actually, in the 11 machine. A lot of guys having issues and right back in front of the field.
And just took on a fast repair at that. Wow. Paulison now. Stephen Paulison. There he is right there, the leader. Oh, Dan West Jr. involved now with an incident as he spins. Bray Daggett going around in front of Monk's Corner. That's that sharp turn, if you will, Jason. That is a sharp angle to try to negotiate and then get right back on the gas quickly.
Yeah, and I talked about that earlier too. Moss Corner, you're going really, really big downhill, hard braking zone, and then you're going into a really awkward, you go from downhill and all of a sudden the turn goes uphill. And I think it's one of the most, and honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the most unique corners in all of road racing when it comes to road courses. I mean, to go from a downhill, long, winding, left-hand straightaway, in a sense, to all of a sudden the turn just goes uphill, and then a quick left-hander that's not sharp, just you're getting on the Andretti straightaway. It's just such an awkward set of like corners, and it's so interesting. And that's where you see a lot of guys have issues here. We've already seen a lot of issues there tonight.
Jason, isn't there an eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying race tomorrow night?
No, we do not start back until July.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's a long break there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, we have the eNASCAR Road to Pro Qualifier Series, of course, on Thursday nights on iRacing on LSRTV with Terry Radford, Daniel Falkenham, and Jason! Also on the call, Russ Lundberg, and he turns and takes them all out. Dan West Jr., Sean Ottenbacher. 3-for-1 special there.
Russ towed it.
Man, what a hit. I thought Russ Lundberg was going to save it.
Yeah, he almost had that saved right here. Look at this, just right over the curb here. You're taking a look from the third-person view. Dan West Jr. He had it saved right there, and then all of a sudden just overcorrects, gets into the Lamborghini of John Ottenbacher, and corrects it right into Dan West Jr. Unfortunate circumstances here, taking a little bit of a rewind. You see Russ sideways all the way down the hill. Looks like, yeah, he just tried to slam the door, thought he was going to be cleared, not enough, and then all of a sudden just comes back right in front of Ottenbacher, right in front of West. 3-for-1 special. He got that probably. Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah, he got tagged off the right front of the 89 of Ottenbacher, and I think Lundberg said, okay, I think I can save it. I think I can correct it. Well, then he was trying to steer to correct it, and he made that right when he did. Here comes the other guys of West and Ottenbacher trying to make evasive action to miss him, and then they get slammed and crashed into him again. There's Tyler King. 21 having problems in Moss Corner.
Big trouble for a lot of these BMW guys here tonight. Tyler King, Stephen O'Hare, both having off-track incidents, and probably Ryan Worley, from what we can assume, just because of the circumstances with starting in the back and then all of a sudden having to abruptly pit only a lap into the event. And he's still all the way back at 23 seconds back. I'm sure Ryan will make his way back up, but he's only going to have 33.5 minutes here remaining to try to get up towards the front. So if he's going to do something, he's going to have these guys have a lot of issues, and he's going to have to just drive the race of his life to try to get back up to the field.
We are right now, if you will, 7 minutes into this race coming up on time. 7 minutes of a 40-minute feature time limit, obviously. Laps are currently right now on lap number 5 in this feature race, and it's Stephen Paulison, the leader. BJ Tidrick is in second. Robert Gamble, winner last week at the Spa, sits in third. Tyler King and Stephen O'Hare. Even though King and O'Hare had their little spins, they're still doing really well, hanging on to the top 5, Jason.
Yeah, they're only 4 to 6 seconds back right now. So, I mean, they still easily can make their way back up to the front. Even Stephen Paulson, BJ Tidrick, and Robert Gamble right up there in the top 3 on the podium. I mean, they could. I mean, we've seen these guys have issues. You've seen
the
Lamborghini. John saves it. Oh, he does. Just barely. He's got to keep on going. But, yeah, those two BMW drivers, they could easily make their way up through this field. They just have to be really consistent, be easy here as you're looking. Oh, no, and BJ Tendrick into the tire barriers right in front of the two BMWs, in front of Robert Gamble. Speaking too soon, BJ Tendrick. There you go. There's 2 free spots for Tyler King and Stefan O'Hare. And BJ Tendrick in that number 72 Ferrari is going to bring it down pit road.
He says, darn you, Jason, announcer jinx.
Yeah, I always do that. I don't know why I do that. I was talking about that earlier, but somehow, some way, I always do it. I think I should just put $1 in the jar every time I say something about somebody, and then something happens to them.
Yeah, I've had the habit of doing the same thing. Stephen Paulus in the red, white, and blue. Number 58 machine. That is the Porsche leading the way right now. He has got a nice drive. He's about a second back on Robert Gamble. Hey, Robert Gamble trying to go for a back-to-back win. He won at the Spa last Wednesday night in round number 2. Round 3 tonight at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. The penultimate race of this 5-race series will be at Virginia International Raceway next week. In 2 weeks, the finale will be at Watkins Glen International. And then, Jason, they reset. We go another 5 weeks. And it sounds like the next 5 weeks will obviously be the dirt car big block modifieds on dirt. And then the final 5 weeks is sounding like it's going to be late model stocks for the Northwest Series. It's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So we get back to some of our roots here. Like we talked about, Wesley, me and you both, it's nice to call something new, but getting back to our roots, that's what we like doing, calling the dirt race and slinging some mud, slinging some dirt, and then the late model stock, something that you love, something that I just started to really get into the late model stock world. I mean, everything from, watching the Cars Tour to watching different late model events all across the country. It's always fun. I can't wait to try to call it. I hope they actually do stick with that. But regardless, I'm still having a great time here calling this. And I mean, hey, we might have a battle for the lead here pretty soon. Robert Gamble, he's closed in almost half a second on Stephen Paulson. So the 2 Porsches here are going to be going at it here. And Robert Gamble's getting a nice toe off Stephen Paulson, going down the Andretti straightaway, setting himself up. You could just see how big that gap is, heading from once they got out of Moss Corner, and then once they get down to the end of the straightaway, Robert Gamble was able to close an entire 10th just from being in the draft, and then he closed in another 10th from outbreaking Stephen Paulson heading into the turn 8. So this can be a very good battle, but they have to be careful.
Paulson is the leader. Once again, another lap in. We're about 10 minutes in to this 40-minute timed feature run. Paulson out in front. He's doing well. Gamble in that second spot, reeling him in. This is probably the best battle on the racetrack, and why would it not be, Jason, for the lead as they're working their way back towards Moss Corner?
Yeah, and Robert Gamble really hard on the brakes right now. He's been really good at getting through the corners, especially once he heads down to San Andretti straightaway. Watch right here. So I'm just going to let everybody know right there. Just because of the draft, he had a little bit of a better exit than Stephen Paulson did. So just because of the draft, because of the speed he's carrying, he started heading out of Moss Corner with about a 5 to 5.1. Now it's all the way down to not 5.1, but 0.5. Now it's all the way to 0.2, 0.3. Robert Gamble so much better in the braking zones compared to Stephen Paulson here as they work their way into White's Corner through turn 10 now. Robert Gamble, it's only a matter of time before he gets to Stephen Paulson. The 58 and the 54 Porsches, they're going to be going out of here as they head into 1 and 2.
Back up at a 1 and 2, and again, Annenbacher with a problem again, the 10th place driver. We'll check the replay and find out what happened to the 89. As Paulson and Gamble still battling there for that top spot. Here's a look at what happened to the Billings, Montana driver. Oh, look at this. Oversteer, just driving in too hard, car going around.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, and that's been a really big corner. You talked about it earlier, Wesley, in the broadcast, with that being a very troublesome corner, and unfortunately it's bit a few people here tonight.
And all that going on, the battle for the lead. Paulison and Gamble, there they are, working their way off of the Andretti straightaway, if you will. Paulison and Gamble to White's corner, coming back to start finish to the straightaway here. And Paulison and Gamble again pulling away from everybody, Jason. It's almost 5 seconds back. There's the heat winner, Ryan Worley. He's in 7th right now.
Yeah, and he's 18 and a half seconds back, so he's going to have some magic happen here. Pull something out of the magician's hat, the Magic Man, Cal Naughton Jr.'s hat probably, if he wants to try to do something here. But this has been such a good battle to watch. Robert Gamble, so good, the braking zone. Stephen Paulison, so good through the center of the corners. But I think right here, Wesley, I think Robert Gamble's going to get him. Here he goes to the right side of him, right to the outside. He's going to set him up here, maybe for a little bit of a crossover. Going down into Moss Corner, hard into the braking zone, right over the rumble strip, swinging back out, almost into the dirt. And this has been Robert Gamble's strong suit right there off Moss Corner. And he gets a little bit of a better exit, Stephen Paulison, that time around. But Robert Gamble only 0.2 seconds right behind him. He's going to have a huge draft wake down the Andretti straightaway. Might be able to set him up here for an overtake heading in to turn 8.
Yeah, Robert Gamble gave it a shot. Now he's going to go to driver left instead of driver right on the passenger side. Trying to go for that spot, but he can't clear him yet as they work their way around the White's corner. Closing in to start finish, and we're 15 minutes into this race when they come to the line right now. Stephen Paulison and Robert Gamble, what a drive they got going on now for the top spot. And I'll tell you this, Robert Gamble, Jason, first career win of the Northwest last week at Spa. Stephen Paulison, I don't think he's ever won before in Northwest Series competition. Let me check that. I checked that. I take that back. I believe Stephen Paulison's actually won super speedway events at Daytona and Talladega. But man, Robert Gamble getting around him, making it work. Not just going for his first win last week, Jason, but going for his second and looking for 2 in a row for Robert Gamble.
Yeah, Troy Daggett's in trouble right here. Another driver and another Porsche. So many Porsches here tonight. We're going to take a look at the replay here at what happened to Troy Daggett. Just another overcorrection. Going to be hard into the outside wall right there. You see the left front fender, or the left front quarter panel. You see the rear wing right there. And then here he goes. Oh my goodness. Caught a little bit of air and hard into the tire barriers right there at Moss Corner. Troy Daggett's had enough here tonight from Canadian Tire. He wants to go back to the U.S.
And right now, Tyler King on the pit lane with 20 to go. Okay, so it has timed out with about 15, 16 minutes into this race, with already 12 laps completed, 20 laps to go here. So we're now back to, if you will, countdown mode on laps.
And this is the thing now, you know, we're on countdown mode. I mean, these guys have been on countdown mode since the start of this race. If you're Robert Gamble, you're just hoping and praying you can pull away from Stephen Paulison, not have any mistakes. If you're Stephen Paulison, you're hoping Gamble makes mistakes. You're hoping guys around you make mistakes. If you're Ryan Worley, who's all the way back up to 5th, he continues to gain. It's just, it's going to take a while before he gets there, and I don't know if he's going to have enough time. He's going to have to be consistently consistent, and he's going to have everybody in front of him have issues.
Aerial coverage for tonight's race provided by LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Along with Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland. Cody Deemers doing a phenomenal job on production. Charles Wooten, associate producer, Rocket Racing Media. And we're closing in on 20 minutes, halfway in this 40-minute timed feature. 19 to go. And Robert Gamble is now the top dog here at Mossport.
And Robert Gamble continuing to pull away by almost 5 seconds over Stephen Paulison. It's getting to that gap to what Ryan Worley had over Paul Newton earlier, and this is going to be an interesting battle when they get there, is Ryan Worley and Paul Newton. I mean, they're only separated by about 2 seconds right now, but if Paul Newton and Ryan Worley get side by side, that's going to be a really good battle for that 4th spot, considering how good they both are on the road courses, even though Ryan Worley basically whooped Paul Newton's butt in the heat. So, going to be interesting to see. But still a while to go. We're approaching the halfway mark here of this race. We're just hitting the 18-minute mark out of the 40 minutes. So still a lot can happen. Oh, we got Robert Gamble.
The leader! Robert Gamble has crashed! And this gives the lead back to Stephen Paulison entering White's corner.
And Robert Gamble's going to pit. Robert Gamble's going to take this opportunity to pit. So this is probably, even though he wrecked, I mean, this is probably going to be a scheduled stop for him here, more than likely. I think everybody's going to have to pit. This had to have been getting into the corner too hard. There's no doubt about it. I can't imagine him. Oh, yeah, getting in there way too hard. He's drifting. And then, he might be taking a faster pair, honestly, just because of that hard contact right there. I wouldn't be surprised if he did right there. He probably
What a tough breakdown for Robert Gamble, all going south. Now you got to think, only could he possibly get the undercut on Paulison and O'Hare because he pitted and took a fast repair, and he knows those guys are going to have to pit.
Yeah, definitely knows that those guys are going to have to pit. I mean, everybody's probably going to have to pit more than likely. Like I said, I don't know the fuel load with these cars. I don't know how much fuel they have. I don't know who can make it, who can't. But, I mean, by the looks of it, these guys may have to pit. From everything, and I mean, in Ryan Worley, we talked about guys having issues. That's another guy who had an issue. Robert Gamble all the way back from 1st to 7th, and Ryan Worley is now up to 4th, and he's only 9 seconds now less back from the leader, Stephen Paulison, and him and Paul Newton are continuing to gain on O'Hare and Paulison here as Onbacher looks to come into the pits in the Lamborghini.
By the way, again, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park tonight. Then next week we are going to be going road course racing at Virginia International Raceway. We take off in observance of 4th of July, and then we come back on July 12th for Watkins Glen. And to answer your question, who was asking the question about Watkins Glen, it will be the boot, the Watkins Glen boot track.
Oh,
that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I love the boot. Bring the boot back to NASCAR, in my opinion.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad somebody else agrees. I would love to see the boot come back. They talked about it for years. Even after COVID, they talked about it when they were returning. Unfortunately, no boot is returned yet. I would love to see the boot return from the 90s. I mean, oh my God. If only people who only watch NASCAR knew how good the boot was. Sharp corner, once you got out of the boot, hard braking zone, left-hander, going uphill, and then going uphill again, and then downhill. Like, oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things. I love running that. It's so much fun. I really hope that if NASCAR does decide, when they do keep going back to Watkins Glen, hopefully at some point maybe they'll run the boot, because I would love to see it.
You used to come out of the bus stop and go in the carousel and then make that left-hand turn to go into the entrance of the boot and work the way on the boot to go back onto the track. And here's the deal. I mean, I was told that they did away with the boot for the road course at Watkins Glen on the interest of safety. They said it was because it was just so fast and so quickly when you're at speeds, and then you're quickly on the binders, and then, just to try to keep the reference of keeping momentum going was why they done away with the boot. So some road course, some racing series today still use the boot at Watkins Glen, but for the NASCAR stuff, they don't. I don't think they do it for IndyCar either, or for for whenever NTT data runs there. But obviously, we're going to have the long road course boot for sure, and it will be fun, no doubt about it. Paul Newton on board with a guy we call the road course king, damaged front end and all. Here comes Ryan Worley running him down. He is methodically, strategically making it work with 14 to go, just after halfway on the time limit to climb back into the top 3, Jason.
Yeah, he's climbed back into the top 3 and they've gotten past Tyler King a while ago. And now Ryan Worley sets his sights on what is known as the Northwest's, road course king. But he hasn't really been the road course king tonight, Oh, and there we go. Stephen O'Hare around, coming into White's corner in turn 10. Ottenbacher has to slow up. He'll get around him, too. Unfortunate break there for Stephen O'Hare. Was, I believe, in 6th. Now is 7th. And here we go, though. Ryan Worley still trying to work around Paul Newton. I'm sure because of that front-end damage, Ryan Worley's going to get a big toe here down this straightaway. And they can see Steven Pollison in front of him. He's only less than 5 seconds ahead. But, if Paul Newton keeps holding Ryan Worley up, they very well could be in a battle. This would be interesting to see Paul Newton and Ryan Worley continuously catch Steven Pollison, get around him, who can work around him the best, and if they're going to battle, because now with just less than halfway, with time left in this race, this is going to be interesting because Paul Newton is very fast, Ryan Worley's very fast, but Steven Pollison has been consistent, hasn't really had a lot of mistakes, knock on wood, so this could be shaping up to be a very interesting finish.
Looking inside, looking outside. Newton under attack now by Ryan Worley as they work their way back up the hill, down the hill. Sharp curve up ahead, heading towards Moss Corner. And Pollison is the man leading, 3.8 seconds. Now remember, Pollison got the lead back after Robert Gamble slipped a few laps ago. He has fell back into the top 5, and Pollison's in trouble. Oh no, the leader in trouble.
Oh, I knocked on wood and everything, man. Come on.
The leader in trouble now.
That's a
new
dollar.
Leader up in front is going to be Paul Newton. Oh man, he just overshot Moss Corner, Jason.
Yep, that's another $1 in the jar right there, Wesley. I knocked on wood and everything. I guess I'm just not safe. Nobody's safe from my reckoning here with the commentator's curse.
Just overshot Moss Corner. You saw what happened there. And there's the end result of that is, okay. All right, so here you go, Jason. Hopefully this will help you out. 20-minute sprint, 1 fast repair. 10-minute warm-up, obviously. Now we're in the 40-minute feature with a 1 fast repair given. 50% fuel capacity. No pit stop a pit stop is required. The pit stops are required. Cars include McLaren MP4 GT3, Ford GT3, Audi R8 LMS GT3, BMW M4 GT3, Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, the Ferrari 448 GT3 Evo 2020, the Mercedes AMG GT3 2020, the Porsche 911 GT3 R992, and the Legacy Porsche 991 GT3R. Those are all the cars that are eligible to run.
Yeah, and there's not really many, that we're seeing. We're seeing, obviously, we have a vast amount of cars, but right now, Porsche, BMW, Ferrari, Lamborghini, those are the only 4 cars that we have. And here comes Paul Newton coming in to make that stop. And then he's going to give up the lead to Ryan Worley. And Ryan Worley doesn't need to pit. Ryan Worley doesn't need to pit. He's already pitted. He pitted on that first lap when he had damage or decided to pit early. Whatever it was, Ryan Worley now is safe. He's comfortable. And he's going to try to run away with this.
But can he go the distance, though, Jason? That's the question.
Yeah.
Can he go the distance?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question. With pitting on lap 1, and we're just going to assume. We're just going to assume it was a fast repair, even with the little bit of fuel he took. Definitely not going to be able to make it. So he's probably going to have to pit. Right now, he's comfortable. The question, though, is when is he going to pit? Because, if you're Paul Newton, you took that fast repair if you had it, and he's going to keep on digging, trying to get, to wherever he's got to go. It's really anybody's race right now, but Ryan Worley looks to be in a very, very, very good spot.
Worley back up in front, back in the saddle again, if you will. He had problems on the start. He was the dominator of race number 1, or the heat, if you will, the 20-minute timed heat. He fell to 10th on the invert, had a problem, fell back, went all the way to the pits, took advantage of the strategy, and now he is in the lead. Oh, and mind you, Jason, he has a 16-second lead over Tyler King.
Yeah, I mean, and that's crazy to think that Ryan Worley was all the way in the back practically. Like I said, just going to assume, fast repair, got involved in an incident, came from the back of the field all the way, and now he's got that 18-second gap over Tyler King. It's just crazy. Ryan Worley has been putting on a clinic here tonight so far, from the heat to what now could be towards the end of the race.
Worley is the leader. King is in second spot. Gamble is third. Newton and Paulison. That's the way it stands right now in the top 5. Again, as time runs out, what a drive by the number 21, Tyler King. Obviously the Northwest Truck Champion of last year. Solid run for him. I'll be honest with you, Jason. On the spectrum of things, there has not been no driver that has been flawless tonight here at Canadian Tire. There has been problems or hiccups or mistakes for every driver that's on the scoring pylon as we approach 10 to go here at Mosport.
Yeah, and it's just a learning experience. We talked about everybody, really coming in here and knowing that it's just for fun, but also a learning experience at the same time. If you're Ryan Worley, you're a good road course driver, but he's still out here every single lap learning something over and over and over again. But Tyler King, Robert Gamble, Stephen O'Hare, Dan West Jr., Toby Ritters, there's just so many guys in here who are just out here to have fun, purely to have fun. But at the same time, they're still learning just a little bit, that they could take with going forward with their sim racing careers or in real life, whatever they do, So, even though it could be frustrating, I myself, when I was on iRacing, I love road racing. It's one of my favorite things. I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm solid at it enough, more than most people. But it's frustrating because you're like, oh man, I can be a little faster in that corner. Oh, I'm overdriving that corner. I need to lay off a little bit more, So it's just a learning experience in general. But here we go. I believe this is Ryan Worley, so he does have to come to the pits right here. So
I was wondering,
is interesting.
Can he pit and take on fuel only? There is the second place driver. He is 8 seconds now. Tyler King. It's going to be fuel only. I know it's going to be fuel only for Ryan Worley. He's 2 seconds now ahead. King just passed him. There he goes. New leader, Tyler King, Robert Gamble, Ryan Worley, second, third on the exit of pit road with 9 to go here at Mosport.
Yeah, and Ryan Worley's going to have to get around Robert Gamble. Sure, Robert made a mistake earlier in Moss Corner, but, Robert is still a very decorated, not so much decorated, but a very solid, good road course racer you were talking about a couple weeks ago. Won Spa. Here he is tonight. He's been up at the front. He was leading some laps. Now he's in front of Ryan Worley, one of the best guys we've seen all night here. And then Tyler King, last year's Truck Series champion. So, it's going to be hard. Ryan Worley is just so fast. But he's got under 10 minutes to go if he wants to try to make up that gap and pass Tyler King. So right now, this is not a race just against those cars in front of him. It's a race against time for Ryan Worley.
Tyler King, 3 seconds now on Gamble. Ryan Worley now, he has about 5 seconds on the third place driver. Speaking hypothetically here, Jason, Ryan Worley or Robert Gamble can run down Tyler King and win this race.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Robert Gamble's already closing in. You talked about 3 seconds. It was about 3.3 just a minute ago. Now it's already 2.5 seconds. So Robert Gamble is already closing in on what was once his, which was the lead before he lost it in Moss Corner to Paul Newton and Ryan Worley. But now with Ryan Worley taking that fuel, he knows he's comfortable. Ryan can drive all out. He's just got to make no mistakes, but he's been flawless all night besides the lap 1 incident. And Robert Gamble, who won Spa a couple weeks ago, continuing to close on Tyler King. It's going to be a battle between two BMWs and a Porsche here. as they head down the Andretti straightaway, coming down as they approach minute number 33 out of 40.
Yeah, it's down to the home stretch, no doubt, for sure. Is again, 8 laps to go as we're closing in on under 10 minutes to go here. And I'll say this, Jason, sometimes road course races can be fairly boring. I don't want to say that in a disrespectful term, but sometimes they can be snoozers. They're not exciting. It's just kind of riding and driving. That's not been the case tonight, or not for any of the races we've seen with the Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 series. These cars are just exciting. They're eccentric. They're novelties. They're fun to watch. And the Northwest racers, though it's a fun series, have been very competitive and fun to keep up with on the track.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, the Northwest guys always provide something good, whether it's GT3 cars, whether it's big block modifieds on dirt, whether it's super late models, whether it's, trophy trucks, whether it's a legend car. It don't matter. These guys always put on a hell of a show, always. They always do a great job. And I mean, and they're just out here having fun. And it's good to see these guys having fun, taking a break from what they usually do. Oh, whoa, big moment right there for one of the Porsches. And there's John Ottenbacher around again. Man, it has not been John's night. I think he just needs to park it at this point because it's been a struggle for him tonight here. But still a learning experience. But hey, I mean, and that's the thing with road course racing. It's not side-by-side action all the time. It's all about bigger picture. And I usually kind of crap on Formula One a lot sometimes just because of how dominant Red Bull is. But a lot of people don't understand. It's the bigger picture. You got to look at it. The multiple battles on the racetrack, the storylines, who's fighting for the last place on the podium. Paul Newton, Ryan Worley, whoever it may be. The battle for second in the points. Whatever it is, it's all the bigger picture when it comes to road course racing, and you have to go through the process from start to finish in order to get that good finish due to strategy or a good battle or whatnot. That's what makes road course racing so unique and so interesting, and every corner is different.
Well, no doubt about it. Time is running out here with Tyler King leading, Robert Campbell second. Hey, real quickly, producer Cody, let's put up the Kaufman Creative weather conditions on the bottom right of the monitor. I would like to just see where we're at right now because obviously, Jason, for the first time in the race this afternoon, we are seeing massive cloud cover over the road course here at Canadian Tire Mossport. And it's 70 degrees, track temp at only 81. The wind is comfortable. And, I think that this cloud cover, I'm thinking maybe it might cause some drivers to tighten or loosen their cars.
Yeah, it definitely could, but I mean, with only an 81-degree track temperature, it's not drastic, but it's still something. But hey, guess what? It is what it is. You got what you got now. You got to deal with weather conditions regardless. It's going to be a little slick, but still 81 degrees for a track temp, especially on a road course with cars with this amount of grip, the downforce, the diffusers in the back end of the car, the rear grip, the front grip, whatever it may be. It's not really that big of a deal. But it still definitely plays a factor. I mean, especially with some cooler parts of the racetrack. Maybe your tires are cooked. You want to try to cool them down a little bit. You got to just kind of pace yourself, run your race, But, I mean, it is what it is. But, hey, man, we're starting to shape up to have a great finish here. Under 4 minutes remaining, and Tyler King is being caught by Robert Gamble right now. And Ryan Worley is lurking right now, right in the wings, only a second, 3/4 back. So this is going to be a 3-car battle to the finish here as John Ottenbacher again goes off the racetrack there in the 10th spot.
There you go. As it is pucker time, as we say here, under 5 laps to go. 4 remaining with Tyler King, the leader. But Robert Gamble is closing in. So oh, no! Stefano Heron, the Armco barrier. What a hit in the tires for the 41. Replay coming up. Man, oh man, what a hit.
That was a big slide. Right here. Oh, into the dirt. Into the gravel. Big impact. The second time he goes up in the air tonight.
man, what a hard hit.
Dan West Jr.
Dan West Jr. again. It's been a kind of a crazy day for him. Stephen O'Hare, I think he might have parked it. I think he's done.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan Worley, Robert Gamble, they're going at it for position right now. This is going to be the battle for second. And here we go. We're coming up. Just 2 minutes remaining, closing in. They're running out of time to try to catch Tyler King right now as we're just about to hit the 38-minute mark right now. Oh my goodness, this is getting so interesting right now. They're running out of time. Only a second and a half separates the BMW and the Porsche from the lead BMW of Tyler King right now.
Here's a replay of another incident on track as we are watching now what happened to Ryan. Well, I'm sorry, this is the battle for second going on between Ryan Worley and Robert Campbell. There's a little slip there. Okay, we're back live. This is a live feed here for the lead.
Yeah.
As look at this going through Moss Corner. Tyler King, the leader. Worley getting around Robert Gamble. He is in the number 2 spot now, but he's running out of time, Jason, as you mentioned. I find it so exciting that out of all of these races, out of all the time we've had, it is now down to these 3 drivers battling it out for the win, for the finish.
He's going to get him, I think, and he's closing big time. He went from about a second and a half all the way down to 9, 8 tenths. We're going to have to see. We might get the white flag right here. Oh, no, and Tyler King almost off course right there to the line. White flag is out. 1 lap to go here from Mossport. This is for the win, folks. Ryan Worley all over the back bumper to the outside of Tyler King heading into 2. Will the 2 collide? Will they get back to the finish cleanly? The 2 BMWs go side by side here as they head into some of the most treacherous parts of the racetrack.
Would you have it any other way? Tyler King, Northwest Truck Series champion on the road course, trying to hold off Ryan Worley, who dominated the 20-minute heat earlier this evening, slipping in the Moss Corner.
Oh,
this is gosh. 2 to go. They're going to be coming to the white flag this time by.
No, they took the white flag.
Is this the last lap?
Yeah, they took the white flag this time.
Oh, okay.
Not enough minutes left.
Okay, they just updated the ticker. All right, time is running out. Final chance to get him. Ryan Worley, can he clear him into the final turn? Working off of turn 9. He loses ground. O'Hare, final time to send it in there, Worley. Last chance off White's corner. Can he get there? Can he clear him?
Oh,
he's got to run. He's on the outside. He's coming after him. He can't get there. It's going to be Stefano. Oh, man. Tyler King. Tyler King wins. Oh, man. What a finish of this race. Tyler King, listen to this. 0.066 the interval at the line. What a race there, Jason. All the way down to the end, and those guys battling for the victory.
That reminded me a lot of Ryan Blaney versus Herman Quiroga in 2014 here at the Trucks. I mean, Ryan Worley was almost like Ryan Blaney. He tried to correct it. He tried to do the crossover move. You're going to see here coming through into White's corner. He'll go high. He'll exit very shallow on purpose to get that run. Had to slow up a little bit, not enough time, and unfortunately right there, half a car length, Tyler King. Who would have thought, Wesley, 40 minutes, we had the guy who won the heat start in the back and then try to compete for a win. And oh my gosh, what a finish. First time calling something other than stock cars and dirt, and I get a photo finish. Can't be better than that.
It was very, very good. Here's a look at the results. Tyler King, the winner. Ryan Worley in second. Robert Gamble is third. Paul Newton fourth. Stephen Paulison, your top 5. Dan West Jr. is 6th. James Vining 7th. Stefano Harris 8th. Frank Harris first car a lap down. 9th is 10th. John Ottenbacher in the 89.
And then rounding out the rest of the field, 11th, you got Troy Daggett, BJ Tidrick 12th. Russ Lundberg 13th. Toby Ritters 14th. Ryan Bloom, Carl Burke. They did not make any starts. I don't believe they come home 15th and 16th tonight.
And real shameless plug to our buddy Mr. Brian Morehouse in Virginia811.com reminding you to call before you dig and dig with care. No cautions, obviously. All racing tonight, but there was lead changes 6. Thank you for that. Of course, it's brought to you by Virginia811.com. Coming up, post-race wrap-up. We'll grab the podium. We're also at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification and bring you back for post-race from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the Community Radio Network, and LSRTV's coverage of the Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 Series. Tyler King makes now the 3rd different winner on the series.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back to coverage on LSRTV, the Community Radio Network, and the Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 Series. From Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller alongside Cody Deemers. Great job on the production. We grabbed now our top 3 on the podium. I want to make sure we got all the top 3 drivers, and we'll get them in the box here. Jason, we'll grab the, we'll grab 3rd place first. We'll grab the 3rd place driver, and that is Robert Gamble. Robert, you won at Spa last week. Tonight, you'll settle for the 3rd place. Man, we're having fun with this series, though, man. These cars are exciting.
You know, that was fun all night. And, you know, I made that mistake there. Just went in that complex way too hot. And then thought I had saved it, didn't save it, and, you know, so then I was wondering, man, can I still pull it off, go in the pits, get the fast repair, but Tyler was quick, man, that was great, and, of course, Ryan was the guy to beat, so, yeah, if not for the invert and all the excitement on the first lap, man, you know, it might have had a different race, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Robert, congratulations there on 3rd place tonight. It could have been a win possibly, but a little bit of mistakes, but everybody's been making mistakes here. Wesley was talking about earlier, 2 races left in the series, obviously. That's been so fun to watch, so fun. For my first time calling it, great job. I absolutely love this. And for my first road race, photo finish, couldn't believe it. But you guys head to VIR here, I believe, next week. How do you take on VIR, man? It's not a track that a lot of guys are very familiar with. What's your take on going to VIR?
No, it's not. There's, you know, I'll set up some practices, but it's a tough course. There's not many passing zones. It's really narrow, and, you know, there's some really tight turns there, and some quick sections, but still not very many passing opportunities. So that will be the interesting part of it for sure.
I mean, I got to say, Robert, in closing, man, this is such a fun series. I think that the idea you had of wanting to do this with these GT3 cars has been, so far, got to be a home run, 100%.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And, you know, we'll take a look at it after the season and see where we go with it. But yeah, I think it's been a good thing, and appreciate you guys in the booth doing such a wonderful job as always. So thanks to LSRTV. Thanks my team, Aerokinetics, and my teammates in here, James Vining, the Catman, Frank the Legend Harris, and Dr. Steve. So appreciate all those guys too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Gamble again. He'll settle for 3rd winner at Spa last week as well. First career Northwest win for the 54. Let's talk to the runner-up, Ryan Worley. Ryan, man, you were so close battling. We were chatting at it during Network ID, and me and Jason said if he could have made that move entering White's corner to make the pass on Tyler King, you might have got him. But obviously, what a way to overcome, what problems you had at the beginning to finish on the podium in second. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Tyler parked it on the last lap, right at the last corner, last lap, right at the right spot. I'm sorry, mouth is dry. Did not let me get the over-under on him right at the last second. But yeah, it was a fun race for me. Very fun.
Yeah, Ryan, congratulations on finishing second tonight, which could have been a what could have been moment. My question is, we saw you had trouble in the beginning of the race, and I talked about it earlier with Wesley right before that feature race started for the 40 minutes. And I was like, oh, he's starting 10th. I don't know. He's going to have to drive through guys he hadn't raced with yet. He's going to have to try to, get around calamity that could happen. What happened there to cause you to go down pit road after that first lap right there?
Going through turn 2, the downhill left, somebody on the outside, I don't know if he got tagged or what, but spun across my nose, and I just nailed him square in the door. So I got a meatball, came down, got my fast repair, a little bit of fuel just to kind of top it off so I can go a little bit farther and push a little bit faster. And just hopefully I can shortcut a lot of people. And I was able to, thankfully. I think I shortcutted a couple guys in the pits by running a little bit longer.
Well, Ryan, I'll tell you what, buddy. Are we going to see you run some more Northwest competition events besides this GT3 series, or you just you normally enjoy running these cars, buddy?
I run mostly everything on iRacing, so you'll probably see me around more. I want to get more into it.
All right, man. Well, listen, if you got any sponsors or people you want to thank, please go ahead and do so now.
I don't.
All right. Well, Ryan Worley, superstar, jumping in here in the Northwest and really turned some heads doing it. He'll settle as the heat time winner of the 20-minute heat earlier in the race, and he'll settle for second here in the end of the 40-minute time feature. Victory Lane, Northwest Truck Series champion of 2022, now getting his first GT3 win. He now makes it 3 different winners in 3 races. Tyler King, congratulations, man. How do you feel? How much fun are these cars? And I said this in post. Every one of these drivers, including yourselves, had some type of hiccups or damages or mistakes or casualty wrecks on the track. You persevered. You kept on going. You're in victory lane.
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys can hear it.
We hear you, but it's
we
very,
can hear
very low.
Okay, well, start off with some headwind in the sprint race. Had to start from the pits. Game crash before the start there, and I think that honestly made my whole night. I was able to battle back into the 10th position due to some attrition. Started, I think second to Stefan. That kind of helped us out a whole bunch. I didn't practice at all before tonight. Just kind of showed up and went at it. I was pretty confident with Canadian Tire. I've run a lot of laps here, but not in this car. So I just wanted to get through the sprint race and get some laps under me, and got some good pace going. I can't believe I won this race at all. It's totally insane.
Yeah, Tyler, man, congratulations, man. Seeing you win on a road course. We just talked about it, and Wesley said that everybody seemed to have some sort of damage here tonight, and I kept saying it constantly, over and over again, probably to the points where our producer probably heard enough of me. But, I mean, this has got to be just such a fun experience for you guys to just take a breather, sit back, relax, enjoy, test some new stuff, learn some new things, broaden your horizons here on the sim. We talked, Wesley was mentioned earlier to me, with this, and then I believe you guys are going to be racing, I think, modifieds on dirt, and then you guys are going to be racing late model stocks. How fun is it to come out here and race something that you might not be so familiar with, and to try to learn and take this knowledge and bring it in to the regular series you normally run?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally fun to get into something different and try to push yourself to the limits and the car's limits. Like, I don't run a lot of GT3 racing. I feel like I'm a pretty decent road racer in stock cars. I got top fives in every truck race last year, so I'm pretty proud of that. But yeah, I mean, to come out and drive a car with, grip and downforce and brakes, it's so much fun to just like really go in and charge a corner and mash on the brakes and slow down and just punch it through. It's totally different from what we're used to. Yeah, just total blast. I'm really excited for the dirt series that's coming up. I don't know if we'll run big blocks or whatever. I've been begging for street stocks. I hadn't heard anything about the limited late model stocks, but I'm pretty excited about that. Those are really cool cars. I love doing short track racing, even though I'm pretty slow at it. But love doing different stuff. And really thankful that Robert and James and anybody else who tries to put on a series for us. I'm very thankful that Robert put together a really awesome series. I love the format. Huge thanks to Russ for supporting it, and Jeff, Sean, and everybody at LSRTV that helps put on the show. Appreciate it.
Tyler, final question. You can segue this into thanking your sponsors also, bud. Would you be interested in seeing if the Northwest wanted to run more of these GT3 races for sure in the future?
Oh yeah, it's definitely something I would be interested in the off season. Because you got to put a lot of time into run the tracks if you don't have them. Run the limits of your car. So I wouldn't recommend it during our regular oval racing series, but wintertime, heck yeah, I'll be all over it.
Tyler King, third different winner in 3 races in the inaugural Fun Series of the Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 Series tonight from Mosport. Well, Jason, your final take of everything, buddy. It's been fun. It was an exciting race. Glad to hear your voice again. I know it's been a month and a half since we've worked together. It was an exciting run. Tyler King, Ryan Worley, down to the wire. A fun night of racing. We do it again at VIR next week, Virginia International Raceway. That's a very unique road course. Obviously, Watkins Glen, the Boot. 2 more races left to go for the Fun Series before we reset for another 5 weeks, man. I'm enjoying this, bud. Your thoughts?
Yeah, for my first race back in here in about a month and a half, I just want to say first off, I'm just really glad to be alive, because I almost wasn't about a week ago. So I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be back, with my boys and stuff, and hanging out and calling these races with the guys that I'm used to. Having a blast. I mean, for my first real road course race that had nothing to do with stock cars, I will say that this was a freaking blast to call. I love the idea of what the Northwest is doing. I love the experimentation, between Robert and everybody over here in the Northwest side. And I mean, it's just a fun time, and it's good to just take a breather sometimes, and for these guys to be able to go out and do things, like I talked to Tyler, before. It's a good thing to just go out and push yourself to the limit, like he said. So I'm having a blast. I'm glad to be back, and I can't wait to see what the next 2 weeks brings. And by the way, VIR, very technical track for nobody who's seen it, and it is a very, very difficult track, like Robert said earlier.
Oh, yeah. Should be fun and exciting as always. The archives will be up for this race as soon as we go live off the air again next week. VIR. Remember, we're going to Okayama next Monday night as well for road course racing for the Northwest Truck Series. Of course, that will be next Monday night. Of course, all of that going on. There's a new World of Thunder Mission 22 late model stock esports series. That'll be our next broadcast of coverage of iRacing on LSRTV this Sunday night, 8:15 Eastern Time. Big shout out to Obviously, Robert Gamble, Jeff Stabnow, Sean Brightsman, all the people that are behind the Northwest Racing Series. Thanks also again to Charles Wooten, our Associate Director. Cody Deemers, first time in production, did a phenomenal job. And, of course, always fun working with Jason Rockefeller. On behalf of iRacing on LSRTV, Rocket Racing Media, and CRN, the Community Radio Network, we congratulate Virtual Canadian Tire Motorsports Park winner Tyler King, getting it done tonight. Be good to one another. Keep on praying for America. And again, we'll see you next week. VIR, the Northwest RGL Motorsports GT3 Series. The penultimate race at VIR, the finale at Watkins Glen. And you